Two moons rise inside you tonight. One is Quicksilver, nimble, curious, bright, moving like thought itself. The other is deep as a well, quiet, reflective, and ancient, holding stories you forgot you knew. They pull the tides of your heart in opposite directions, and yet they belong to one sky. This is the ancient prophecy of the two moons. When both illuminate you at once, your dual destiny comes into focus. Not a battle to be won, but a harmony to be learned. Not choosing oneself and exiling the other, but letting both breathe in the same chest, speak in the same voice, and walk in the same direction. You have felt it since childhood, the restless switch between laughter and silence, between 10 ideas and the one truth under them. People mistook that movement for inconsistency, but it was a sacred rehearsal, the soul practicing how to stand where two roads meet without splitting. You were not indecisive, you were listening to both tides, waiting for the moonlight to agree on a path. That waiting hurt sometimes. It made you leave conversations half open, notebooks half filled, dreams half built. But the prophecy says your halves were never fragments. They were two instruments learning to tune to one pitch. Before we go further, if the way I'm describing your inner sky feels familiar, if some secret part of you is exhaling right now, consider subscribing to Astro Gemini. Think of it as placing a small lantern along your path. When the nights are long or the mind is noisy, these messages will find you again and show you the next stepping stone. Tell me who you are under the stars. Share your date of birth and your zodiac sign in the comments, like a note in a bottle to your future self. There is power in naming the day you arrived and the sign that chose you. It anchors the work we're about to do. I'll be reading with the tenderness of someone who knows how much courage it takes to say, "This is me," both moons included.
Now close your eyes and feel the twins within, the speaker and the listener, the wind and the roots. The speaker moon wants to connect, to translate, to turn sparks into constellations of meaning. The listener moon wants to absorb, to integrate, to descend to the floor of the ocean and gather pearls that no storm can steal. When you overfeed one and starve the other, your life tilts. Talk too much and your voice outruns your heart. Retreat too long, and your insights never find a doorway into the world. The prophecy asks you to hold both, to become the bridge that words and silence cross to complete each other. You have known the pain of being misunderstood, the feeling that your brightness is too much in one room and your quiet is too distant in another. That ache is not proof you are wrong. It is evidence you are rare. Rarity requires translation. Translation requires patience. The two moons teach you to be your own interpreter, to tell your light why the dark is necessary, and to tell your dark why the light is safe. When they believe each other, you glow in a way that calms every room you enter. Imagine a night market in your memory, lanterns swaying, words for sale, secrets for trade. Somewhere in that market, a child you bartered pieces of self for love. You learned to be witty so attention would linger, learned to be adaptable so tension would leave. You survived. Bless that cleverness. But now you are ready for more than survival. You are ready for truth. The two moons ask for a new bargain. Keep your brilliance. Keep your mercy, but never again spend your voice to betray your own silence, and never again keep your silence to betray your own voice. When life pulls you in two directions, pause before you decide. Ask the luminous moon, what would I say if I trusted my gift? Ask the hidden moon, what would I choose if I remembered my peace? Write both answers. Then, this is crucial, look for the third way, the way that honors both answers at once. It exists, It always has. Sometimes it means speaking after you've breathed. Sometimes it means waiting, but leaving the door open with a clear note hanging on the handle.
There is a timing to this, a rhythm your nervous system already knows. Mercury rules your sign, but the moons rule your tide. Let mind and tide be friends. When you feel the flood of ideas, capture them without judging their shape. When you feel the ebb of stillness, protect it like sacred ground. Creation is not a constant forward motion. It is an inhale and a slow exhale. Genius is the courage to respect both. Take a breath for what hurt. The projects you abandoned because you thought you had to be all wind or all root. The relationships that asked you to be one moon and hide the other in your pocket. Forgive yourself for believing the world when it told you that wholeness was too much. The two moons would never ask you to amputate your light to fit a smaller sky. Your dual destiny is permission to be both and belong. Let us name the moons so your heart can call them when you need them. The first I'll call the moon of voice. It lives in your throat and your hands, in the quick glance that says everything without a word. It is the storyteller, the translator between hearts, the crossword of connections where you make people feel seen. When the moon of voice goes dim, you overthink and undersay. When it blazes unchecked, you speak to be safe rather than to be true. The second is the moon of listening. It lives in your ribs and your belly, in the temple of your nervous system where intuition kneels. It is the keeper of context, the one who knows why your reaction is so big and why your fear is so fast. When the moon of listening goes dim, you skim the surface of everything. When it takes over, you swallow feelings until they calcify into silence. Your task is not to mute one or spotlight the other. Your task is to seat them side by side at the council fire of your day. Here is a practice to begin tonight. The twin breath. Inhale for a count of 2, I speak. Exhale for a count of 2, I hear. Repeat for 2 minutes. Then journal these lines. What I am afraid to say is, and what I am afraid to know is. Keep writing until the page grows honest. When you finish, place a hand on your throat and a hand on your belly, letting the two moons recognize each other through your palms. You are not silly. You are sacred. You may be grieving the conversations you never had, the no you didn't say, the yes you smothered, the apology you kept rewriting in your head, the goodbye you made into a maybe because you feared being the villain in someone else's story. The prophecy speaks into that grief. Dual destiny requires a dual courage, the courage to speak and the courage to stay with what speaking awakens. The courage to wait and the courage to not call waiting avoidance. When both live in you, your choices stop shaking. You'll notice the world rewards your speed. It loves how fast you can connect the dots, how deftly you can reframe a heavy moment into something breathable. This is a gift, but gifts untended become escapes. The two moons ask you to use your speed to reach the heart, not to run past it. When you feel yourself floating above your life like a balloon, find a string, a glass of water, bare feet on tile, a single sentence said slowly. I am here and I choose to feel. If this message is landing where you most need it, if it's helping you reclaim something quiet and essential, tap like as an act of intention. Let the simple gesture be your vow to carry this light forward today. It tells the algorithm to keep this conversation alive. And more importantly, it tells your own system, I will remember. Another practice, the two-seat method. Set 2 chairs facing each other. On one, place a slip of paper, moon of voice. On the other, moon of listening. Sit in one chair and speak for 3 minutes without interruption. What you want, what you fear,
what you need someone to finally understand. Then physically stand, bow to the empty space as if honoring a teacher, and sit in the other chair. Now respond with listening. Reflect what you heard, validate what's true, offer a gentler interpretation of what hurts. When you finish, return to the center, stand between the chairs, and speak one sentence that belongs to both moons. This becomes your guiding sentence for the day.
Shadow work is part of the prophecy. You have patterns that pretend to protect you, making a joke to escape vulnerability, shifting opinions to keep the peace, overcommitting to avoid choosing, chasing novelty to outrun grief. None of these make you bad. They once made you safe. Thank them, then retire them. Replace them with rituals that preserve your energy instead of leaking it. One full body no each week. 1 hour of unstructured curiosity with no productivity pressure. One accountability text to a trusted friend saying, "I'm choosing one thing today." Indecision is often unloved sensitivity. Your mind can see 12 futures at once. Of course it hesitates. The key is not to see less, it is to ask sharper questions. Which future costs my peace? Which future expands my honesty? Which future would I choose if nobody could misunderstand me? Then choose, and let the rest of the futures grieve without dragging you back into the room. I want to tell you a story the elders of air once told. At the edge of a desert stood a temple with no doors, only 2 thin windows facing the night. Inside, a pair of silver bowls caught moonlight the way hands catch rain. Travelers would arrive exhausted from their wandering and rest between the bowls. If they were impatient, nothing happened. But if they breathed and listened, the bowls filled themselves, one with words they needed to say, the other with silence they needed to keep. Only when both were full did the temple reveal a hidden staircase. The traveler descended, not into darkness, but into a chamber bright as dawn, where a mirror showed them whole. The prophecy says Gemini's life is that temple. The staircase appears when both moons are honored. Consider where you have been impatient with yourself. Maybe you call your sensitivity too fragile, your curiosity too scattered, your mind too loud. What if those were not defects, but doorways? Sensitivity is how you feel the wind before the storm. Curiosity is how you find the single green shoot under the rubble. A loud mind is a crowded marketplace where, with practice, you'll learn to hear the bell that signals the truth stall opening. Your destiny is not to quiet the marketplace completely. Your destiny is to ring the bell yourself. Practical guidance for a week of integration. Choose one conversation to complete and one silence to protect. The conversation might be an overdue boundary or a gratitude you've withheld because you feared it would make you vulnerable. The silence might be the morning hour before screens or the impulse to defend yourself in a comment thread that doesn't deserve your nervous system. Announce your plan in a gentle way to someone who can celebrate you. Gemini grows faster when witnessed kindly. Write a letter from the moon of voice to the moon of listening. Apologize for the times you used words to avoid intimacy. Thank listening for the times it caught you before you ran past your own feelings. Then write a letter back. Let listening tell voice it is safe to speak even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Seal the letters and place them under your pillow for 3 nights. You are enchanting your nervous system with permission. You will be tempted to equate momentum with alignment, yet you know how easy it is to sprint down a path that doesn't belong to you. The 2 moons offer a different metric: resonance. Does this choice make your chest feel wider? Do your shoulders drop? Does your breath become more honest? When resonance is your compass, you stop negotiating with your intuition like it's a stranger. You meet it like a beloved returning from a long journey. A word about love. People will love both moons in you differently. Some will love your voice because it frees them. Others will love your listening because it softens them. A rare few will love the whole sky.
You don't need everyone to understand the prophecy, only those who stand with you at the window while the bowls fill. Your task is to become that rare person for yourself first. The moment you do, you stop auditioning for rooms that can't hold your weather. When conflict comes, and it will, because honesty rearranges rooms, remember the twin tools: precision and patience. Precision says what is true without wounding the floorboards. Patience lets the other heart catch up to the conversation you've been having with yourself for months. Use phrases like, "What I mean by that is," and "I'm not asking you to agree, only to understand." These are ropes across chasms. You are a bridge builder by birthright.
Set a simple altar for the two moons, a pen and a bowl of water. The pen for voice, the water for listening. Each morning, ask a question out loud, then dip your fingers in the bowl and touch the page before you write the answer. This tiny ritual tells the body, we speak with feeling, we feel with clarity. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. 10 honest minutes daily will outpace a weekend of heroic effort that burns you out. When your energy scatters, imagine twinning it instead of shrinking it. Duplicate your attention like light splitting through a prism, then guide all rays back to one spot on the wall. That spot is your priority for the day. Everything else is a promise to tomorrow. Gemini's superpower is synthesis. Use it to create focus, not to justify overwhelm. Remember, a yes with both moons behind it is stronger than 1,000 maybes. There is a night each month when the moons inside you draw closest. You feel it as a tightness just under the sternum, a desire to clean the room, or to text that one person, or to stand alone under the sky and let it all wash through. Do not ignore that tug. It is the prophecy reminding you that dual destiny is not a concept, it is a cadence. On those nights, light a candle. Speak your name slowly until it feels like it fits. Then say, "Tonight I choose a life my whole self can survive." Your mind will ask for proof that this path works. Give it the evidence of small piece stacking up. The conversation you finished and did not spiral after, the boundary that kept your morning bright, the sudden clarity that arrived not when you pushed, but when you paused. The two moons do not promise an easy life, they promise an aligned one. Aligned lives feel braver, quieter, truer, and they make their own weather. If you have traveled this far with me, let's make a final vow. Place a hand on your throat and one on your belly again. Whisper, "May my words never outrun my heart. May my silence never starve my truth. May both moons, my voice and my listening, rise together when I choose." Then, softly, name one decision you will make this week in their shared light. Do not rush to act. Let the vow soak into you until you feel the click of rightness. That click is your green light.
I wonder about your sky. I want to know the day you arrived and the sign that met you at the door. Share your date of birth and your zodiac sign in the comments. And if you feel called, tell me which moon has been louder lately. Your words might be the lantern someone else needed tonight. Our community is a constellation. Every star makes the picture clearer. As we close, if this message steadied you or stretched something beautifully inside you, gently press like now. Think of it as placing a smooth stone on the cairn we're building together, a marker you can find again when the path grows foggy. And if you want these teachings to keep meeting you exactly when you need them, subscribe to Astro Gemini. It keeps this circle unbroken and brings the next chapter of your journey to your door as soon as it's ready. Two moons, one sky. You are not torn, you are tuned. The mind that dances like Mercury and the heart that listens like water are not enemies, but partners. Two hands on the same instrument, 2 feet on the same bridge, 2 lights on the same shore, calling you home. Walk forward. The prophecy is no longer ancient when it lives in you. Let it live in you now. Subscribe to Astro Gemini for more messages like this, so you never walk this path without a lantern. Like this video to seal your intention for the week ahead, and share your birth date and zodiac sign in the comments to add your star to our constellation. Your dual destiny has been waiting with the patience of the moon. Tonight, you answered.